Animator! I am Zen, and I'm here to make your life a little bit easier in this crazy industry. Today we're gonna do something different. Not my typical tips and tricks animation, but we're actually gonna use a real animation that is done by one of my subscribers who kindly agreed to get his animation reviewed today. And by reviewing his animation, hello Kwang, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, we can take a look at the common mistakes that people who start animation do, how to avoid them, and how to think your shot when you approach something difficult or something a bit more challenging than a bouncing ball. So let's talk today about layout, about weight, about how to animate something complex. Let's take a look at the animation that we're going to be reviewing today. And also I did turn off the audio just in case there are any copyright issues. So if you want to see the video with the audio, you can just go on the YouTube. I will leave the link below. So this is the animation that we've been talking today. So it is a dance animation. And one thing about dance animations that I always want to tell is that dance animation is one of the hardest to do. Dance animation is something fun to try to do. Please don't ever let me stop trying you to do any kind of animation. But if you want to use it as your, let's say, portfolio piece, or you want to get a job, probably not the best one. Because when you're just starting, it is too complex to start with that. I have been doing animation for over 10 years, and when I get dancing shot, I get a mini panic attack each time, because I know that will require so much effort to make it right. So tip number 1, do any animation you want to do. But if you want to include it in your portfolio to help you to get a job, remember that your portfolio will always be judged by your weakest shot. Now, Kwang, being an awesome animator, also provided me with a video reference. Let's take a look at it again without a sound, just for the copyright issue. So there we go. This is the actually very cool reference. I really like it. I think it's a dope dance, and I don't know if it's any of your friends, maybe it's actually you dancing, but it's really cool dance, and it's damn complicated. One thing I have to salute you for choosing the reference, that this reference is not from animation, but it's from real life, and it's very important. A lot of times people try just to copy someone else's work, and I always advise to choose the reference from the real life, because then you can have more freedom exaggerating it. Today I actually want to focus only on a small bit of it, because the animation you provide is kind of long. I have it here open because I also got a file as well, which is really cool. The full animation is 200 frames. Now 200 frames of animation is considered as a long shot, okay? So this is the original file that I have, and we can see the dance animation here. But number one thing that always gonna be something that I will point out when you do your animation, people always tend to ignore one incredibly important thing: layout, or we know it as the camera angle. The camera angle, even in the reference, is quite different from what we have here. If you pay attention, the horizon is quite low, it's 3/4. Now let me turn on the guides so we can see our horizon line is right in the middle. So if you know anything about cinematography, the horizon line in the middle is boring.
Now remember this: when the horizon's at the bottom, it's interesting. When the horizon's at the top, it's interesting. When the horizon's in the middle, it's boring as shit. Now, good luck to you.
So the very first thing I would go and I would fix the horizon line. Immediately a bit better angle. Then another thing, we can see how much she dances, and there's so much empty space around it. Unless you're planning to do an effects and it should be something like kabooming around her, zoom in. I would say let's just go for the all-time 50. 50 is like the mid-shot kind of focal length. That's just so not to overcomplicate this shot. We push it back. 50 is a slight zoom in. This is already a way better composition for the shot. in the end, when she kind of shifts forward, there's still enough space for her to shift forward. So this is number one thing you have to really think about is the camera. So let's go and take a look at our animation now. I'll just scroll and see through it a bit more. This is a lot to review, like really a lot, because this is like 200 frames. This is gonna take me probably just 2 hours just to go through every frame and figure out what's going on. So we're not this crazy, we're not gonna do that. We will only take a look at first 32 frames, because I feel like even in this 32 frames I will already be able to explain quite a bit of the stuff that is happening throughout the whole animation. Let's take a look at the first pose. This is probably our first key pose. Then I think around here will be our second key pose. This will be third key pose. Here is 4 and here is 5. This is 5 main key poses we have. The rest is breakdowns, so this is the important ones. First pose, I think it's pretty good, but I immediately noticed if I looked at reference, right? Let's go back to it. The very first pose. Can you see how high is the difference in the hip and then in the shoulder? And you can feel where the weight is, and that he pushes from this leg. That leg is just there to hover and then go up. So it pushes as well. This leg has a little bit of a push, especially you can see at the back guys, they are not overlapping legs as much as the front guy. You will see that this leg is mostly just to pull up, but this is the one that jumps. This is the one that carries the weight. When I'm looking over here, I don't feel the weight at all at the front hip, because the hip does not feel like there's any weight at it, because if the weight is on this leg, it has to be at least nudged a little bit this way, right? So there's a lot of things like that we can talk about later. When we shift here, suddenly, again, we have weight on this leg, but for some reason she's falling this way. Well, she actually has to be much more this way, because if the weight is on one standing leg, the body should be in the middle. If you ever try to do like yoga tree pose, you will notice that your body kind of like shifts. Your hip shifts somewhere like more to the leg where the weight is, and your leg will kind of become in the middle of the body. And again, see, she pushes and then she really loses the balance here. And then as she lands, we again have a very, very low, like if you land like this, you'll fall. This is not a very balanced pose again. And here, okay, in the air it's fine, but then when we land, again, you feel this is not, you're not going to be able to land like this. You have to make sure that your butt is aligned with the hip and the weight is correct. So just by talking about these few poses, I think you have noticed one important thing that I'm trying to tell is that weight and balance is something that is incredibly important when you do body mechanics and especially dance. And throughout the whole animation, I see that there is a lot of off-balance poses that really needs careful consideration when you create them. I don't know how exactly you approach this shot, if you did the blocking pass first or no, but this kind of shots requires a lot of thinking through. Weight and balance is something that need to be done correctly in order for a dance to feel real. Even though you might not be able to see it so much from the front view, like from the front view it might look all right. From the side, the moment I turn, I can see immediately all the problems. And if you think that you can cheat because of the camera angle, you won't be able to see it that much in front, oh, it's okay if it doesn't look correct on the other side. No. You might not see it directly, but you will feel that something is off and wrong. Very important thing, something you absolutely must take care of when you do any posing, is to make sure that the mechanics of that step feels correct. And one way to do that, if your video reference is the way it is here from the front and you might be a bit confused, right? Like where's the weight here? Where's, because I see from the front, like I copied it, it looks correct, right? I copied frame by frame, it's correct. Like why is this? How do I get it? So by looking at just the reference, it's a good start, and it's something you really should do. You always should have reference, especially for something as complicated as dancing. But I encourage you to also maybe try to stand in those poses, take pictures of yourself, maybe stand in front of the mirror, maybe put a camera and just do poses and feel how your body is. And this is something that you will be able to translate over here when you do your animation. You really need to learn how to feel and understand the weight in order to do correct dance movements or even basic jumps. I have modified the file a little bit the way it is convenient for me to work, and I'll explain how and why. Well, first of all, I did trim it to 32 only, and I have hidden the top of the body. If you don't know how to hide the mesh, I'll refer you to one of my videos on how to hide the mesh, even if it is one solid piece like in this case. Check out the video. What I'm gonna do right now, why I'm hiding it, is because the most important part of the dance here is not the arms, is the legs, because the legs is where the weight is. And I always work in chunks. So for example, even if this is a 200 frame shot, I will never open the entire 200 frames to work with that. Chop it into 3, 4, 5, 6 even parts. For now I chose this because it has 5 keyframes and it will help us to get the weight correct. In order to get this all right, we really need to turn it back into step keys. Let's do that. You can see what is keyed, what is not keyed on certain frames, but it's okay because it's already been splined, so that's something we can work with still. I'm gonna key the first frame because this is gonna be obviously first keyframe. Then, as I said, we're gonna find those 5 keyframes that we have talked about. Like this, I'm deleting. This is in betweens, this is breakdowns, this is anticipations, this is not a key poses. There we go. Now we got our 5 keyframes. What are we gonna do with them? Well, let's study them. We have a reference. Let's take a look. On the very first frame, as I said before, I already can see quite a lot of weight happening here. And very nice that we actually have 2 other dancers doing exactly the same movement, because from their moves, because his leg is a bit hidden, you can't understand, but their legs are not. You can clearly see that this is the leg that jumps. See how this one is almost not bearing much weight? You can feel like this lady, for example, shifts the weight to this leg to jump. In this guy, it's not as clear because we don't see his back leg. It can be a bit confusing. So what I would suggest, first of all, let's not hide the legs as much, as it will not help us to create a nice posing. We'll try to unhide the leg a little bit. So we will make this legs hidden but not completely, so it will be a bit of better posing. And then I want to raise this hip up because this is where my weight is, and I want to shift the weight visibly to this leg. Yes, this is much better, just slightly less. And I can see that at the first they're almost standing straight, and I feel like this leg could be pushed more at the back. Yes, so I feel like this will be a bit of a stronger pose, though I still feel like we can create bigger gap with the legs. I feel like even though the reference that we have has the guy completely hiding the other leg, I don't feel like it's creating for a good posing, especially with her legs. It just doesn't look as good. So let's say this is number 1. So the next one is where the more tricky stuff is happening, because we go on one leg, right? This, if you're again looking at the guys at the side, they're very helpful. This guy is already kind of tilting off. The girl is a good example over here. She transfers the weight as it is here. I feel like the leg, so we'll push higher. There was a small cushion that we can add as a breakdown, but overall our weight is on this leg, so we need to animate the hip. Right, the hips are almost straight. This one might be going a bit forward. Our weight shifts over here as we dance. Yeah, something like this. Again, this is the weight leg, so our butt has to be aligned with it. So our next posing is when they kick the leg forward. This one, yeah. So one thing I noticed is that actually it's on a tiptoe, this leg. This leg is straight down. So that's what we're gonna try to achieve. And there's no way she's gonna be able to stand like this. So let's just push it back to 0 for now. So let's see the transition one more time. This is the one that was standing, and it just has a small kick back. from the previous one to this small kickback. Let's see if it's small. Ooh, it's quite big. I don't think she can kick back this much. Like this will be more appropriate kick, I feel like. Yeah, there you go. This is a nice placement for the leg, so we are following this leg to know where our body will land. And we have a little bit of as I said, like there's a tip toe. As they land on this leg, you can see it's straight in the air, and as they land, it's just cushions tiny bit, just like super tiny bit, so it won't be very bend. So this is what we want to do. We want to straighten it up. We want to push the roll a little bit more, because I said they land on the tip toe. There we go. Let's try to do the overlap, but we will overlap much more in order to get a nicer silhouette, because this will not work. This will not be a nice silhouette. So we'll go for exaggerated overlap like this instead. This feels like a kick now. Let's take now. See, this one kind of lands almost the same spot where this one was, but a bit front. Yeah. So, and this is the key post. This is the straighten. Now he's leaning the other way, so it's kind of like opposite of what we've had. So let's see. See, this leg now lands pretty much the same spot. We don't want it the same spot. We want it slightly up front, because the weight shift. Yeah, you don't want it to be exactly the same spot, but you want it to be almost the same spot for the leg to go back. Yes, this is nice. And the last pose. Yeah, let's go and try to get this. I can see something interesting you did here. You rotated the hips a lot, but you did not rotate the main controller. In this case, the whole body shifts, so you want to rotate the main controller in order to help you to rotate the body later. So the body shifts completely this way. We are looking this way, so do use the main controller to do this. Hips are for different purpose. Now, again, as I said, we want to straighten it to the point where your butt is kind of aligned with your heel, the one that's standing. So this is pretty good. Let's take a look at what I've got. This is the play blast of some more cleanup. I would say it's still not final, because I wouldn't go and clean it like completely until I get the body on top, but I do get a weight. I do have a sense of balance in those poses. There are some holds for the legs that can go on another pass and add the arcs, and maybe some bendy controllers to make the shape of the leg a bit nicer. But this is a really nice start that you can do by just creating, block out the poses. You've got the basic poses, then you get the extremes. It's the anticipation and usually the most high position, the most extreme position, and then you can add a couple more breakdowns in the middle just to switch the legs more appropriately. This is my advice to everyone who's trying to approach the much more complex animation, is to break it down as much as possibly can, as much as logically it is possible, and then slowly build on top of it. So this is one of the things I wanted to share with you today, is how to fix up animation like this, how to approach animation like this. Of course, all the stuff that you need to be a good animator, you actually already have. I've seen your channel, and if you haven't, check out the channel of my subscriber. He actually has so much animation done, and this is the key of becoming a good animator, is just keep animating. Even though you take the shots that probably you won't be able to nail on 100%, it's still great to try them, because you will always learn something new. In order to achieve a good animation, you have to just keep doing it, but approach it with a system. Think about each step you make. Don't move controller for the sake of moving controller. Move the controller knowing that this will help you to create a balanced pose, or help you to make weight in that pose. Move a controller with a reason, with a thought, what it will do. I hope today's video was helpful for my subscriber Kwan and for the rest of you who maybe learn something new by looking at the shot and by just learning how to approach shots like this. And my advice to you all, that just keep animating. Even though sometimes you might be confused about what you do, or it's just not clear at first, the more you do, the more you think what you do, the more you analyze it. And maybe that's not a skill that you yet have, but you will develop it if you just continue thinking of each step you make. It will really, really help you to improve your animation. As always, I'd say this, that I'm a full-time animator. I don't have much time to make these videos, but I always try to keep them up once a month. So in order not to lose me, subscribe, like, leave me a comment. Maybe you want to learn something that I have not taught you yet before, or you have some interesting other special requests that I might have not thought about yet. So please leave the comment below, and it will make my day. Thank you so much everyone for watching today's video, and as always I say, stay healthy, animator.